One of the most important parts about becoming a successful deer hunter is proper deer stand placement. What we're talking about is where to set up your hunting stand to maximize your chances of getting a shot at the deer you're after. Well, there's a lot of things you have to keep in mind. First of all, what kind of an area do you pick? Certainly you want to pick the area where you have a lot of deer sign, deer trails, deer droppings, deer tracks, rubs, scrapes, perhaps areas you've seen deer frequently in the past. So use all your clues if you can to put yourself in an area where deer are likely to frequent. Now, when it comes to how to set your stand up and where exactly to put it, there's a couple of key things to keep in mind. First of all, distance. Distance from where you think the animal's most likely to be when that shot comes. Obviously, if you're hunting with a rifle, you could be further away from where that deer's likely to be versus a bow hunting stand where you have to be within 20 yards or less quite often. So distance is also very important. Another key consideration is scent. You want to place your stand on the upwind side of where you're most likely to see the deer. In other words, you want the scent from the deer blowing your direction and not your scent blowing towards the deer. Perhaps one of the most important things to me is how do I get in and out of that stand without spooking deer in the area? So you want to think about how you get into that stand and hopefully how you can get out after dark if you're hunting in the afternoon without spooking many deer in the area, because those deer will soon learn your location, particularly if it is a permanent type stand. So keep all of those things in mind, and also during the season you may want to move that stand because food sources in the autumn, perhaps acorns, may be replaced later in the year by other food sources like agricultural crops in your area, so you may have to move that stand during the year. Now when it comes to types of stands, there are many types, and there's no one perfect one. I'm standing behind what's called a permanent metal ladder stand. In other words, a ladder stand made out of metal. And I far prefer and recommend those over wooden stands because over time, wooden stands are more dangerous. And let's focus right here on the most important part of this whole segment, and that's your safety. No matter what you do, even in a stand like this that is very safe, always wear a full body harness, secure yourself securely to the tree. Don't risk falling out and getting hurt because let's face it, part of being a successful deer hunter is being able to go again the next time out and not injuring yourself. So ladder stands are very useful type of stand. They're easy to climb, even for young people. The one I'm looking at here is a two-person or buddy type stand. So father and a son, a father and a daughter, two hunters can hunt together. And that's often a great way to start, particularly as a young hunter when a lot of things can be challenging for you. Other types of stands include a climbing tree stand. That's one where you actually connect a stand to a tree and essentially jack your way up the tree. Those can be very good because you can be very mobile, but they also take a lot more skill and again, they need to be very safe. It's certainly fine to hunt off the ground. There's a lot of different ways to do that. There are pop-up tent style stands that are very good, and they're good at concealing movement, particularly if you haven't learned how to be patient yet and sit still. You can also build a blind on the ground. So if you're going to do that though, keep in mind perhaps if you have a little bit of slope in your area, you can use that to your advantage so that you can look down perhaps where the deer are likely to come from. So there are just many ways to get out there and hunt, but again, keep in mind your safety. That's the most important lesson of today's segment.
I can't stand making her cry, so I